Hi everybody, my name is Michelle O'Neil. I'm the National Secretary of the Textile, Clothing and Footwear Union of Australia. I want to start by thanking you all for being with us today. This is a very important protest. The workers at Pacific Brands, as you know, found out in February of this year that nearly 2,000 of them were losing their job. This company announced that 1,850 workers would be sacked progressively over a period from July this year through to February of next year. We're outraged by that decision, but the story gets worse. This company has received millions of dollars of government assistance over many years. Just in the last 2 financial years, Pacific Brands received $17 million from the federal government. They are due to receive another $7 million from the federal government this year. And what do they use that money for? They use that money to purchase new technology, purchase machinery, do things like research and development. So can you imagine how the workers at Holeproof in Nunawading felt when they discovered today that the company had shipped some of that machinery, packed it up in the dead of night, sneakily put that machinery into a shipping container and brought it here to the docks to put on a boat to go to Indonesia, to their factory in Indonesia, the Burley factory, over the weekend. So this is not only treating workers with contempt, but it's also treating the Australian community, because that machinery was bought with taxpayers' money. This is the machinery that really belongs to the people of Australia. And I don't mind governments helping companies in tough times, if that leads to saving jobs. So our question today is, how can the federal government have given millions of dollars to let this company buy machinery, that they are now letting that machinery be shipped overseas with the jobs? So they're not only exporting the jobs, they're exporting the machines that we bought. So today we're here calling on the federal government to say, stop this. Don't let this company move these machines to Indonesia. Demand that if you are going to support companies, that they support Australian workers, that they keep jobs here. The other thing about Pacific Brands is that they make government uniforms. And that's our other call for Kevin Rudd. If you were going to give government tenders to companies to make uniforms for the government, then make a simple condition. Say that they have to make it here. We hear a lot of words from the government about being sympathetic about workers and job losses and doing everything they can to support Australian jobs. Well, here's something practical. Stop the moving offshore of machinery that Australian taxpayers have paid for, and require that companies that get government support make those companies continue to manufacture here in Australia, and make sure that any tender for government work is guaranteed to be made here in Australia. We have no argument with the workers in Indonesia or the workers in China. The people we have an argument with is this company who have greedily taken money from the federal government over many years, and the federal government who give lip service to caring about the jobs of these workers but won't act practically to save Australian jobs. I want to thank the unions and community members who are with us today, because it's your support that makes all the difference. In particular, I want to mention the transport unions, the MUA, the TWU and the RTBU, who has very quickly jumped in and said that they supported the fact that machinery shouldn't go offshore if it's been bought with federal government assistance. And I want to really say to you that our members, and I'm with some of the members from Pacific Brands today, but those that are with us and those that can't be with us, and we're talking about 7 factories around Australia, they know that they've got your support, and it makes an enormous difference. So for all of you who've supported us today and over the last few months, I really want to say thank you, and we may well be calling on you again and again. And I know that the sort of support we've got is something that we can rely on. I also want you to hear today from a couple of the workers that work in the Pacific Brands sites here in Melbourne. And I'd like to introduce you firstly to Chris.
I'd like to thank all the unions for supporting us when we're losing our jobs, and for the company is sending the machines overseas, and it's got government money, and we don't think that it's very fair, and so we're not very happy about it at all. So just want to thank all the people that have supported us and all the unions that have supported us.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Aretha.
Yeah, like Chris said, we'd like to thank all the unions that are here today in support of us. We are here today witnessing Pacific Brands shipping off their machinery offshore, machinery that we worked on. We produced garments. They're not only shipping the machinery, they're shipping our jobs offshore. We'd like the government to actually monitor the way they hand out the money and make sure Australian jobs are safe, and not make this happen again like it's happened to 1,800 workers in Pacific Brands. Thank you to all the unions and everyone here that's supporting us today.
Thanks, Aretha.
Let's put some pressure on Rod.
That's right.
That's right.
So I just want to fill you in that in fact the container is inside here. The container was packed up secretly at the Holcroft site in Nunawading yesterday, and despite the fact that we've been here since very early, 6 a.m. this morning, they haven't come in via this gate. They've arranged to sneak it in via a gate that's not usually used to get it into the site. Now this is again an indication of the steps that this company will go to. So it is inside here, but it's not yet on a ship, and it's not yet left Australia. So I'm asking Kevin Rudd to do something about this. I'm asking Kevin Rudd to step in and say, no, it's not okay to have Australian money, taxpayers' money, buy machinery that's then shipped offshore for a company to make larger and larger profits, exploiting workers in another country. And the only way that he can show that he means the words of sympathy and support that he's said he has for the workers at Pacific Brands is to put his money where his mouth is. Stop this company moving these machines. Link any government money to jobs staying here and get some of this money back from this company. And lastly, guarantee that he's not going to give that other $7 million to this company who have their hand out waiting for it as we speak.